All right, welcome back, everyone, to 1 Minute Recess, where apparently nobody watches the show and just watches a clip and decides on what we're saying based on 5 seconds of what we post on the internet. Fascinating week, everyone. Fascinating week. We had lots of racism in the comments. We don't do that here. Lots of weird comments about Walmart, taking the context of what we said out of context. Maria, thoughts, comments?
I usually start this by saying who I am, and there's a lot of BS out there, and the BS came to the comments. There was like maybe one or two of you that, good job, you actually got it and actually
Maybe
made good
watched
points.
the show, did some
Yeah.
reading, some research.
And we're like, yeah, maybe kids shouldn't work right out of the womb. That's kind of terrible. But then there were a lot of you that I think, one, you're policy experts. Two, you are the food police, apparently. And
They
three,
were just what people eat now.
yeah, and you just think you're superior than, the person that might have a job and a family, and
Two
because
jobs
the
in a
rent is too
family.
high. Yeah, and they might need some assistance, because that's what SNAP is, to buy some food.
They thought we were like apologizing for Walmart or like sympathizing with Walmart when we were using Walmart as an example. If you watched the entire episode,
Like,
the whole problem the whole problem encapsulated in one
yeah,
clip on the internet was
in one clip. Yeah.
not doing your research and not watching the show and taking what we said out of context. Great job, everyone. Bang up job, internet.
Because you know what the real why the Walmart situation was highlighted? Because shit's bad when Walmart is like, oh my God, do something because we're going to suffer. It's like, it's bad
Literally, all we were saying. And also, sometimes that's the only place people have to go to shop.
Literally.
Not advocating for
Literally.
Walmart.
No, not advocating for Walmart. Just anywhere you live, you probably more likely have a Walmart nearby rather than a farmer's market or an actual grocery store. Like, you have a Walmart. And it was actually a lot of, this is a lot of credit to former First Lady Michelle Obama, who, when people were trolling her about getting people to eat healthy, and she was like, people live in food deserts, maybe Walmart, and she called out Walmart and said, maybe you should have actual groceries
Apparently, in
and
the
actual
comments,
vegetables.
people don't believe in food deserts either.
No, Annette, everything is fine. There's
The
a
lady's
person
got
in
a CVS and a Walmart up the
Yes.
street, Maria.
Yeah,
Fuck
and there's a
them
family
kids in
down.
Alamo. Fuck them kids out in rural Nevada. She's got a CVS and a Walmart up the street from her house. There's no such thing as food deserts, Maria. There's no such thing as people with 2 jobs on SNAP.
And well-known food retailer Family Dollar, which has the best vegetables and
Understood.
yeah,
Understood.
no, please.
Literally, that clip, the one clip, and there were multiple clips put up last week about the show. And it was a really good show. I walked away from that show being like, that was a great show. We educated the public. We even updated it as things were going on with Governor Lombardo and things were changing with the state. Nobody bothered to watch. They just watched one stupid clip and were like, Walmart's terrible. They don't pay their employees. We never said they didn't. We literally weren't advocating for Walmart, you idiots. You didn't even watch.
Yep.
So if
And we
you
even
were one of them in the comments, which we're going to share in a minute because they are fascinating creatures in the comments section, I would highly encourage you to go back, take a few minutes, read a book, read an article, maybe read the article that we were referring to in the clip, and then watch the episode and see the full context of what we were talking about in terms of SNAP benefits.
Annette, that's too much work.
Oh.
And these people, the only work that they will do is typing that SNAP people should get a job. They won't actually do the job of informing themselves.
Understood.
They'll just tell other people to get jobs.
Racism, elitism, got it.
Yeah.
Babies straight out of the womb should get a job. I forget.
That's right. Get a job. Come on.
So it's been that kind of week, everyone. I'm so glad you came back to the podcast that you only watched the clip of and didn't bother to watch the whole show. Really, really a bang up job, everyone on the internet. Glad
Good job,
you
internet.
made it. Glad we spend an hour with you every week doing this work.
It is ridiculous. Yeah, good job, everyone.
Uh, okay, well, since the SNAP crisis has not been solved because dear leader is still dicking around with it, let's dive back
Mhm.
in, Maria. But before we do, let's go to the comment section because I haven't seen the comments. We saved them because I wanted to have live facial reactions to some of them. And again,
Yeah,
we're all about debate. Have fun in the comments,
love it.
whatever. You want to disagree with us, please, for the love of God, do. I don't care.
We love it. We are not conflict averse.
But oh, no, quite the contrary. But racism, elitism ain't going to be tolerated in our comment section. So you can leave that shit at the door because we will block you for that. Let's not debate.
100%. Yeah,
All
let's
right,
not
let's
debate.
go. Let's see it.
All right. You ready,
I'm
everyone?
bracing
Okay.
myself.
Brace yourself because it is horrendous. Okay, we're going to start with YouTube. The first one I checked today.
Where so much happens. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
love this debate.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me what you think about this one. They can get a job from at whatever. Some dude said they can get a job.
Most do have jobs. Some are on
Hmm.
disability. Some are United States veterans. Some are elderly or people with disabilities. Some are children. So I don't know. I guess you're encouraging children to get a job.
Hmm.
But most Americans who are on SNAP do have jobs. So this narrative that they're welfare queens, I also hate to break it to you, but lots of them are white. So that racism that you're perpetuating there, hate to break it to you, white folks are on this stuff too. Because lots of
What?
people don't have the ability to get affordable food in this country.
What?
So Mauverse, do better.
And then they buy junk food
Oh.
at Paul U3. Yeah, you're not a bot or a person that can't type a better name. And then they buy junk food. Ha ha ha. If they will buy real food, good, not junk food. Can you learn to write, Paul, please?
Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, buy food. Okay, well, I'm gonna string together a response based on the words that were strung together in this. Most people, when they're buying food, are buying the most affordable items they can to get the biggest bang for their buck. A lot of times, sadly, that is food that may not be considered healthy by you. It is none of your business what a family buys their food or how they buy their food. It's none of your freaking business. And in my humble opinion, I would much rather my taxpayer dollars go to a family for them to get a treat for their family than a bomb. So, if we're going to start policing the food that goes in people's bodies, I think that's probably a slippery slope to hell. And I don't think we want to be doing that.
Yep. And Paul, let me just tell you, you're not really smart. You think you're smart? Like, I know what they're actually buying. They're buying Dr. Pepper. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Listen, this family thanks you, considering that's where my husband works.
Oh my God, that's true. This is interesting. I feel so bad. Walmart refuses to pay the majority of their employees a wage that would exclude them from government assistance. There's a little bit more, but what about it's long? What about that first part?
Okay, so let me go down this rabbit hole with John Doe. I appreciate this thoughtful response. Right? This person clearly did their homework, clearly thought about what they were saying, understands the argument about Walmart and some of the problems that exist with low wage jobs, understands that a lot of the things that people should be buying with their food stamps are not affordable. So they're talking about vegetables, fruits, those kinds of things. Listen, I don't agree with all of it, and that's fine. Again, this is the kind of response that's actually thoughtful and is something that is engaging, and they clearly thought about it. Now, one thing I will say to Mr. John Doe, whoever this human is, I would encourage you to watch the entire episode because we talk about low wage jobs, and we were using Walmart as an example. And there are lots of companies where their employees are on food stamps or on Medicaid or on other government subsidies because they're not paying them a living wage. So at least this person was thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting, reading this guy about the all of a sudden now, it's not Dr. Pepper and Doritos. It's expensive meats and fruit salad. So I don't know what it is. Are they supposed to buy good food with it? Or are they supposed to buy shitty food with it?
Here's
It
the
seems
deal.
like
I
it seems like you can't win either way.
I was just gonna say, what this thread shows me is that poor people can't win. And that people think they should be the ones to police how other people's households run, the food other people eat, how they should live their lives, and that's none of our business. We should be in the business of making sure people have the ability to eat because that's a human right, and making sure, to his point, that people are paid a living wage so that they're able to access food. Those are the only two asks that I have. We should not be
Yeah.
policing what goes in people's mouths.
Yeah. Absolutely. But thank you, John Doe, for actually like writing out your thoughts
And being
and like
thoughtful about
saying
it.
where they come from,
Yeah.
even though we disagree.
And well,
That's how
and
you
also
debate.
to their point down about Aldi and like maybe price shopping, finding other places. Yeah, that's totally a fair thought.
Yeah, absolutely. That is totally fair. Welcome to that kind of debate. Walmart ain't cheap. What are you guys talking about?
Well, it's cheaper than a lot of stores,
It's cheaper, I bet you. It's cheaper than Sprouts, cheaper than Trader Joe's.
especially where you can get a lot. Trader Joe's has actually got really good prices.
That's true. Yeah.
But, but sure, nowhere's cheap anymore. I mean, that's another good
Mhm.
point. Nowhere's cheap. Walmart is cheaper than many places, and many people go to Walmart because they can get better deals there. It's not
Yeah.
cheap, but it's less expensive than a lot of places are.
Yeah, exactly. Or Adam Alexander 5029 says 25% of all SNAP is spent at Wally World. The taxpayer has been making the Walmart family rich.
This isn't about Walmart and making their family rich. This is about ensuring that people can eat this week. I'm not going to debate you about Walmart and Walmart's practices. I've been on record for a very long time talking about Walmart's problems. However, people need to eat. People deserve to eat. And if they've got to go to Walmart to do that,
That's where they gotta go. Also, a lot of people that shop at Walmart are teachers because, they have to buy stuff for their
yeah, and
classes.
they get it in bulk.
Yeah. And so a lot of times they'll also buy their food there. So now we can start a whole other
Well, and
debate.
then you've got the whole listen, I don't shop at Walmart because I've never thought that their practices with their employees, their practices around health insurance, unionizing, all of those things. I don't shop there. However, I am not going to blast somebody who does because I also understand that people need to eat. And that is the conversation we're having. This ain't a conversation about whether or not Walmart is good or bad. This is a conversation about SNAP and Donald Trump cutting benefits to people and not enabling them to eat. Now, we'll talk about the updates since our last episode, which I would encourage you to watch and not just go by a clip. But the conversation needs to be about SNAP benefits and what those benefits go to and how we're going to feed people in this crisis.
Yeah. Wow. It's almost like you're nailing down the actual problem.
Oh, weird. God.
This one, it's from good old TikTok. Let me make this smaller
See,
so you
now
can
this is
read.
another good comment. Winco is employee owned. That's why it's
Yeah.
cheap. It's just saying, thank you, Squirrely Taco.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw that and I loved it because guess what? That's my mom's favorite store.
Yeah, I wish I had one out by my house.
Yeah, it is awesome. A lot of times they're open 24 hours because they understand working people shop at odd hours.
Yes.
That is actually a great addition to the debate of like, hey, there's variety and some of
But
them
here's the
actually have
point
great
to this,
values.
right? You do have one by you. Out by me, which there are
Right.
plenty of working families out by me. I do not live in a highfalutin area. Out by me, there isn't one. So what do those families do when they don't have access to Winco? I'm not driving to Henderson or over by
Right.
Centennial Hills to go grocery shopping, right? And what about
Yeah.
people without cars? What about people without transportation? They ain't getting to Winco if they live out by me.
And we don't have a subway that can take you in a
Yeah.
few minutes across.
There's no good. It'll take me 5 hours on the bus to get over there if I don't have
Literally,
transportation.
literally, as someone that took the bus in her youth, yeah, it will take 5 hours.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, sadly, big companies like Walmart have the ability to open up everywhere,
Yeah.
literally.
Yep.
Back to this line, our Walmart, Joanne or Joan says, our Walmart doesn't pay a living wage, so they receive food stamps. This is just sick billionaires that aren't paying their employees enough, so they have to get food stamps to feed their kids. Make this make sense. And people are mad because people want to feed their kids.
Completely agree. Companies
Yeah,
should pay a living wage.
absolutely.
Completely agree. Again, Walmart was just an
100%.
example, but there's lots of companies, Amazon, who should pay a living wage so that they're not
Mhm.
on food stamps and can actually put food on the table and pay for health insurance and pay for their kids and. Well,
Yep.
so in other words, big companies will lose money. No, it's a part of a bigger problem. And again, if you watch the episode, we explain that. There is a ripple effect to the economy. People
Right.
can't eat, people don't go shopping, people don't spend money even at the little stores. Like we use the example of the one in Tonopah, or not Tonopah,
Mhm.
in Alamo.
Alamo, yeah.
And then people lose their jobs, prices go up. The gas station in Alamo was not a big company.
Nope.
Just saying.
It's what they call a mom and pop. Yeah. And that's the chain reaction that happens. And then people wonder it's like with COVID. We saw a chain reaction in real time with COVID with massive unemployment, less buying power, and then all of a sudden, just the entire
It,
food and supply industry.
the
Like
whole
these are
supply
all things
chain
that are
gets
connected.
disrupted. It's like it's a whole
Yeah.
ecosystem. The people
Yeah. Yeah.
driving the trucks to get to the store.
Yeah.
Now look at this. See, Allison, good on ya. Maria, look at that one.
Where
John
are you?
says people can eat
Oh,
if they work and earn the money to buy food. Only a tiny percentage of recipients are unable to work. Okay, sure. Allison, so you want kids to go to work. Couldn't have said it better myself, Allison. Good job, friend. I don't care about the adults. Now, I care about the adults too, because a lot of them, there's other things going on that can't eat. But these kids can't eat now. And I think that, listen, that's true. I mean, I care about the adults too. But if you really want to hone in on the problem, it's kids going hungry here.
yeah. And if they're not going to be able to get a meal at school, like we talked about in the rest of the episode, that they also want to cut so many other programs to feed kids, they're literally going to starve. But no, John wants to send the kids to the mines. I love this for Wally World. Love this one from Edward. People will eat, just not all Coke and cookies. Our cart of junk food, we need to make changes because people are selling food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar. Have you ever bought any food stamps, Annette, for 50 cents on the dollar?
And here's the thing, if people need to sell their food stamps, it's none of your damn business what they do with them. Just
Yep.
saying. But I happen to believe, I happen to know, people are using those to buy food for their families.
Weird.
My God.
Also, they know it's not like stamps anymore. Like it's a
No,
card that gets loaded
they have no
loaded to
idea that
you
it's
and
an
your name.
EBT card. They don't have it. Maria, they don't know how any of this works. Now, the people
Yeah.
who are on it are wildly aware of how this works.
Yeah,
But these
they live it
people
every day.
are completely out of their element. They don't know poor people, let
No.
alone know how, EBT cards work.
Well, Terry
Tell me what Terry Time says.
Time says, "Oh my god, OMG, Snap is less than wrong then 5% of Walmart shoppers. They don't care. For every Snap dollar, Walmart gets 96 from actual working Americans, not those depending on the government."
Thank you, Terry Time, for that thoughtful comment. I don't think that's what we were talking about.
Literally no. And I highly doubt those are real numbers.
Narrative alert.
Narrative alert.
People
No.
can't eat. I don't know about you, but if you watched the news at all this weekend, like those food banks were panicking.
Yeah, and I believe they're experts on this issue, right, Annette?
Literal experts, the ones that I actually trust to talk about like what's happening with people who can't eat. So,
Yeah.
as you so eloquently put in the comments, more like math alert, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
Reality. The reality of it. Yeah.
Listen, blessing roofs.
Hey, beefcake babies, spot on though.
Price is about to go up.
Major,
Beefcake,
excellent.
baby.
Beefcake
Yeah.
baby. Beefcake baby knows what's up. Prices are about to go up. Damn right they are, because these
Yeah.
companies know what's about to happen. And yes, this is going to impact the economy 100%.
Yeah. Eat a big beefcake, baby. Give likes to that beefcake
Good job,
baby
Beefcake
comment.
lady.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Majority of Walmart.
A
Yep,
plus.
yep, 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 yep.
Have to seek
Oh,
assistance.
went to Walmart today and it was packed. Sure. We're not saying that it's going to be a wasteland. Again, if you've watched
Literally
the
not what we said.
episode, you know it wasn't even about Walmart.
No. It's almost as if it was about Snap and the whole problem.
Literally the whole problem. And it was one example. One small example of what we were talking about. So maybe all you Walmart folks, if you're commenting about Walmart, go watch the episode. It'll tell you what
This
we were
one
actually talking about.
This one just was one of the last ones I read, and it just made me laugh. I don't know what tinfoil conspiracy theory this is, but this
Light me
lines
up,
up.
Butter Nugget.
Butter Nugget says, this lines up with my theory that Trump bought TikTok shop and is working with Chinese corporations to funnel all the money from Walmart to Trump. I don't know what kind of like tinfoil
That's
universe
like
they're
the red
in, but
line. Like, when you're like
yeah,
the red yarn and you're trying to line up conspiracy theories.
yeah. Even
Listen,
brought TikTok
listen,
into
Butter
it.
Nugget, you might be onto something. What do I know? I just
Well,
live
yeah,
here.
keep us posted, Butter Nugget.
Yeah, if you find out something's going on, Butter Nugget, let us know in the chat.
And also, I mean, this is an interesting line of thought. Just me. Just me says, so do you believe Walmart kept their prices higher because of Snap?
Hmm.
Because those who were on Snap weren't paying with their money, it was government's money, and Snap payments were as high as $3,000, if not more a month. Why not make as much off government money as possible? Which is a fair question to ask of companies. Like, do you inflate prices? Why not keep the prices high to make as much profit as possible off of Snap? It's all a scam defrauding the American taxpayer.
I mean, I don't know if it's defrauding American taxpayers. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But, I mean, it's fair. You should be asking your government officials about
Yeah.
why price gouging continues to occur. I will tell you, I do know the law. Price gouging is illegal. So there's that. But here we are. Ask your government officials.
And just me, one of the local state officials that really does love working on this is our Attorney General, Aaron Ford, who at an event, I believe, once was like, if you see, during COVID, they were saying, if you see price gouging, whether at the pump, at the grocery store, you call our office and you let us know. So just me, hit up our Attorney General or your Attorney General if you're outside of Nevada. Yeah. So Annette, that is the state of the comments section of the last clip.
Please, for the love of God, go watch the whole episode. All right. Well, should we talk about Snap again? Because it's like the crisis that never ends.
Yeah.
And I'll just
Yeah.
preface this by saying, before we go down the rabbit hole of Snap, because there were updates from Interim Finance Committee, there have been updates over the weekend. A judge went after Trump. Let me just preface this by saying, by the time we post this on Wednesday, everything could change. So we're sorry. We're commenting on a Monday, and things might change by Wednesday.
Yeah. So
The current state on Monday is.
So and if you're like, that doesn't sound right, or I wonder if that is right, go do something like read
Yeah, Google.
or watch the news. So what's going on with Snap in Nevada, Annette? What's
Hang
the
on.
update?
One of my favorite legislators is texting me. Hold on. On our podcast. See, real time, friends. I'm working on Snap in real time.
Wait, you actually work on this issue? You
Weird,
know what
right? It's like I
Yeah.
do this for a living. So, interim finance happened last Thursday. After we posted the podcast, the governor said he was going to basically put money into food banks. We talked about on the last episode why that could be a problem, because not every place has a food bank. And a lot of times those food banks are inaccessible to people because people don't have vehicles, people don't have transportation, things like that. Went to interim finance on Thursday. Unfortunately, because of the way our state legislature meets, every other year for 120 days. They're out of session currently, as we've talked about previously. Therefore, interim finance is very limited on the actions they can take when they are out of session. Now, we are officially on session watch. It's like a hurricane's coming towards us. We are officially on special session watch. My prediction is sometime late next week. So today is what? November 3rd. As we're recording this, this will post November 5th. It's looking like special session will be sometime late next week, 12th and 13th, 14th, sometime around there. I don't know. I got BravoCon, so I'm going to do that first. And then if it starts, I'm going to fly up there. Priorities. I can watch whatever from down here because you and I both know how specials go. It's a slow start to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So long story short, there was a very good debate about how the state backfills SNAP benefits and how the state can step in since the federal government is currently shitting the bed, which they are, Donald Trump, and fill those benefits and fill those gaps for Nevada families. Now, because our budget's so small, they probably can't do that for very long. We're talking like a month. But we need to have a system in place. Now, the part of the problem is they're going to have to build out a whole system because the system doesn't exist. Because you're essentially putting state money into a federal pot. And so it's like they heard us on the podcast. Again, if you haven't watched the podcast, go watch it. Last week, we were very critical of like, let's not just throw money at food banks. Like, that's a good thing to do, but like, should not be the only thing we do, right? So people like Steve Yeager and Nicole Cannizzaro have been working to figure out ways to set up an EBT system, essentially, a temporary one here in the state of Nevada, to be able to get those benefits out to Nevadans so that they're able to buy food and groceries. And so at this point, during that conversation, they talked to some of the industry experts. They talked about a lot of the food banks about what they thought, because again, real experts. And then they also talked to the company who would set up a system like that, who could set up like an EBT card type system. Because originally when this all started, when they talked to them, they said it could be months to set up. Now they've got them down to weeks. And now I think they've gotten down to a week or two. So if we can get into special session and this crisis has not been averted, there should be a fix in place that they can vote on going into special to help make sure that those subsidies are backfilled for Nevadans. So kudos. And I got to say, from what I saw, there were some interesting questions on the right, as usual. But it was mostly bipartisan. But this was very much led by Yeager and Cannizzaro. And kudos to them because they were thinking outside the box. In the meantime, in between time, Attorney General Ford sued the federal government. Kudos to Attorney General Ford for doing that. So hopefully there will be relief coming to Nevadans if the federal government can't get their shit together. 2-3 days after that, I think it was Sunday, yesterday. All the days are blending at this point because I live in the night circle of hell with you. There was a judge on the East Coast, actually 2 judges, I think, who said, no, Trump, you can't do this. Then Trump played stupid and was like, I can't read. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what this court case means. And the judge was like, dummy, you got to feed people. You got to give people their SNAP benefits. So they'll dip into an emergency fund because the government isn't funded because of the government shutdown. And then they'll be able to hopefully get at least partial benefits from the federal government is the hope. And hopefully, by the time we're posting this on Wednesday, hopefully the federal government is able to do some relief for Nevadans and for other people around this country. And for all of those people out there saying get a job, most of the people I'm talking to have jobs. They have 2 jobs, in fact, 3 jobs sometimes. And they are still struggling to make ends meet. And you're right, living wages is a problem, and we need to continue to address that, which is something you and I have done a lot of work on over the years. So, like, cool your jets, friends. And then we need to make sure that the state has the ability to help people if and when this happens again, because currently our federal government is just funded on continuing resolutions. They call them CRs, and it's temporary funding. It's a temporary budget. It's not a for real budget. We have not passed a for real budget in the United States of America in quite some time, friends. Google it. So rather than doing continuing resolutions, maybe we should pass a real budget that we could all agree on. That'll happen. So the state needs to be able to have a plan if and when mostly win. The government, the federal government, shits the bed again because I don't think we can rely on the Trump administration at this point. Do you?
I completely agree with everything. And you wanna know when was the last time a budget was passed in Congress?
Oh God, hit me. It's gonna be horrifying. I
Ninety
already know.
the 1900s, 1996.
Oh, so we were what? Like I was
We
in
were
like middle
children.
school.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got people in the Commons that probably weren't even
Great job,
fertilized.
everyone.
1996. So this is a everyone's problem since 1996.
This is not the way
All
to
parties
function a government, friends.
no. And you can and we'll put this in the links. It's from investmentinsights.com.
Oh, sounds like
And they
a real liberal rag.
yeah, real liberal, educating investors on the government. And it even explains what does it mean to actually pass a budget and design a budget. How like the difference between that and what you said, the continuing resolution. Um, and they said this is something that lawmakers have rarely completed.
Which
And
is
yeah, last time
contrary.
was
And
1996.
let's brag about Nevada for like 2 seconds because we never
Yeah,
really get to brag about Nevada, but we should in
that's right.
this moment.
Yeah,
The federal government doesn't have to have a balanced budget.
we
They
do.
operate in a deficit on a regular basis. The federal
Yep.
government clearly doesn't have to pass a real budget. They just keep passing like this stopgap band-aid nonsense that every couple months we got to fight over again. The state of Nevada, that is the one thing they are constitutionally mandated to do when they go into session. The legislature has to pass a budget and it has to be
Mhm.
balanced.
Yep. And what's really interesting is, and I really encourage people to read this article because it really goes into the whys of all of this and how we got here, how we got to like the rise of continuing resolutions, which was something that was created in 1974, but slowly started rising in the 90s. And what has changed? Like, why are we in this ninth circle of CR hell? Is because many lawmakers, or most lawmakers serving today, have never actually seen and been through a real budget process. So, this continuing resolution process is the only thing they've ever known. And so they think and operate as this is the only way, when in reality, we have a designed budget designing process that we did in 1996, but because of politics and because of special interests, haven't done ever since.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah. And who can you call about this? Your congressperson, Republican or Democrat or in
Senator.
between. Call them and say,
Federal
Senator.
senator.
Yeah. Your federal delegation. Call them up and go, hey, this needs to stop. Maybe.
So yeah, so Snap's a thing. Snap's the thing we're arguing about still. Great. So should we go to the rundown? Want to talk about
Yeah.
since we just talked about the interim finance committee, which is a part of, the in-between time of regular legislative sessions. Let's talk about what's coming in special because obviously Snap's going to be an important conversation. Regardless of whether the federal government halfway fixes it or not, so that people can eat, by the way, not rhetoric. That's a real thing.
Narrative alert.
Yeah, that's what that is. A narrative alert. Yes, God. Okie doke. So,
Okay, so what else is going to happen?
it's like a special version of hell for me. That's what I told Nick the other day.
It really is.
So, film tax, because we like to give money to billionaires. People can't eat, but let's give money to billionaires. That's going to be a good look. I'm trying really hard to keep my mouth shut on that one. I know you know.
Yep.
We are also probably going to see a crime bill that the governor is pushing thanks to the hotels. Unfinished business. That's the unfinished business from the legislative session. And potentially a healthcare bill. Again, his healthcare bill, potentially from regular session that didn't get done at the end. So yeah, and God only knows what else. I mean, whatever the governor wants to put on that proclamation. So do we really think he put Snap on the agenda? Does he really want to deal with that? Or does, just Joe Lombardo, what did somebody call him today? Or what was he? What was the wording that they used? Flaky?
Craven?
Craven. He's Craven.
He's not Craven. It
Many
takes a
things.
lot of
He's
us.
not Craven.
Not Craven. And there are many politicians.
That
up there that have
requires
been
work
Craven.
from Joe, and old Joe don't want to do
Yeah.
no work.
You know who's the most craven person ever? Former Senator Michael Rovers. That was a craven person and worked really hard
I
to
won't
be craven.
I won't say anything. Keep my mouth shut on that one. Anyways, so it's all gonna come down to what Joe Lombardo wants to put on the agenda.
Yeah, so for people that, don't know what a special session is, how does it work? Like, is it the governor that calls it? Is it the legislature? Is it one of them? Don't go into all your trauma, but, like, lead us in.
Well,
How do we
I was counting the
get
other day. I think this is like my 10th or 11th special.
just special?
Just special. We're not counting regular sessions. We count regular sessions, we're into like the 25, 30 range at this point.
Wow.
So, special sessions, how does it work? Well, it can work one of two ways in Nevada. The legislature can call itself in, but you have to have like a supermajority to do that and yada, yada, yada. They're never going to do it. There's not the political will to do it. They should do it, but they're not going to do it. So, the other way that we can call and get called into special is the governor calls us into special and he makes a proclamation. And only what's on that proclamation is what can be worked on during a special session. And that's probably, well, not probably, that's what's going to happen here. So, hypothetically, the leaders in the assembly, the leaders in the Senate, and the governor all kind of come together, hopefully decide together what's going to be on that agenda. But ultimately, the governor has the power to decide what's on that agenda, and only that can be worked on in the special session. That's the only thing that can be worked on. So, whatever he puts on that proclamation is it. So, we got to wait for the
So if people
proclamation. You're not going to see the proclamation like 2 weeks in advance, and let me tell you why. Once he
I was
calls
gonna say,
once he calls a special session, once he issues that proclamation, all fundraising has to stop. And we're exactly, today as we're recording, we are exactly 1 year out from the 2026 election. Old Joe don't want to stop fundraising. And now
mm-mm.
all the constitutional officers have to stop fundraising. All the legislators have to stop fundraising. So anybody in state government who's on the ballot in 2026 has to stop fundraising the minute he calls a special session. And then they go into special session, and then 30 days from when they sine die, so again, that's the end of session, from when they sine die the special session, 30 days from that, they can't fundraise either. So basically, all through the holidays now, they can't fundraise. So this is about cash money.
Per usual.
As per.
Well, thank you for that primer.
Yeah. So friends, tune in. We'll do a special edition straight from Carson City. I'll be back in hell, live reporting for you. Can't wait. After BravoCon, though. Don't expect me to be there during BravoCon. I'm not doing that.
No.
I already told my clients. I was like, had these tickets for months.
Yeah.
Priorities. Somebody
Exactly.
online was like, what if Joe calls it while you're at BravoCon? I have a phone. I have a laptop.
Go forth. You know what's all the rage is calling in and phoning in your testimony. So you
I
can
hear
just do
that's
that.
what all the cool kids do these days.
Yeah.
Why should I
So
fly up?
join all the people that don't go.
Fake
And
it
then
till
just
you
go when
make
you
it.
want.
Half-ass trash, Maria. That's all the rage these days.
Yep.
Okay. I just keep watching this thinking, can this just fucking be over already? Because, like, if you've got film tax alone is just gonna suck the oxygen out of the room.
Yeah.
And
And then
I'm gonna
crime
be real
bill.
honest, and again, I've got clients on both sides of this, so this is purely my personal opinion, not the reflection of my clients. I don't know if they have the votes right now. If
Really?
I'm just doing the math, I'm mathing, I don't know. Assembly said it because they've already voted, right? So you look at the math from the regular session,
Right.
it passed out of the assembly. Not by
Right.
much, but it did. But if you look at the Senate, I don't know if they've got the votes, Maria. And does the governor put it on an agenda without the votes? That seems dicey to me.
If you're smart, you don't.
Wait. Are you saying if you're smart and you do the whip
If you're
count and you don't have the votes, you shouldn't put it up for a vote?
Yeah, so like if you're craven and you did the work.
So the bill that I had during session that was put up for a vote 5 times, even though I told the sponsor they didn't have the votes?
Yeah, you gotta kinda do that first. That's the whole point.
I wish I could say I could ensure that they wouldn't put it up. They
Look,
can't.
everyone needs to remember, I know you haven't watched it because it's like real life, but The West Wing, because
I
I
haven't
watched
watched
it on the
that.
flight
Yeah,
over here,
that
but
triggers
they
me.
spent a whole episode on how they lost 5 votes, and they needed those 5 votes for a bill on
That's
gun
a
violence.
real thing.
It's a real thing. You need to have those votes, and so they spent 72 hours whipping those votes.
When I'm at a funeral and people are coming up to me being like, Annette, we need your help. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. I was removed from the progressive community, remember? Other people that are way smarter than me on this stuff. Call them. I'm sure they'll phone it in.
Transformative.
They're just a phone call away.
A
Anyways,
hop, skip, and a phone call away.
hop, skip, and a phone call. Doing the best work possible. All right, time for the local lowdown. So going all the way down to our local municipalities where more of the action happens.
Ooh. And Snap leads the way. Snap leads everything this week.
I mean, it's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting that this is the thing that the Republicans are using. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, the fact that now, like, I was talking to Shane from the Northern Nevada Food Bank, and I'm like, how the fuck are we here? Right? Like, how are we here where this is what I'm worried? I'm worried about bread lines at this point.
Yeah. Bread lines.
I mean, the
Literal bread
lines at
lines.
UNLV alone over the weekend were insane. And listen, that's not knowing if SNAP benefits were going to come back or not because of the court case, right? We weren't
Right.
sure. People are still food insecure. Take SNAP out of the conversation, and Americans are still food insecure. And that's what people in the comments don't get. It's not just SNAP. Americans are food insecure at this point. The economy is killing people. People's insurance
Literally.
rates are going through the fucking roof. Both Obamacare, ACA insurance premiums, and private insurance. The economy is crushing people. Thanks, Trump.
But no, it's the people buying
Coke.
23G iPhones with their SNAP benefits.
I feel my blood pressure go up every time I read that stuff. Tell me you don't know anybody who is a poor person without telling me you don't know anybody who's a poor person. Or
Literally.
who's ever been poor in their lives. Okay, let's talk about some nukes, Maria. Let's change the subject. Let's talk about nukes.
From dying from hunger to nukes.
To
All the
nukes.
wonders of living in Nevada. We're gonna we're gonna see mushroom clouds.
So I have to share this story because I went to the memorial for Congresswoman Titus's mom, Betty, over the weekend. And the Congresswoman's mom was like a grandmother to me. So it was very, very emotional. And just the memorial service was beautiful. It was at IBW. It was such a lovely service. But I had a minute to talk to the Congresswoman after the memorial. And I was like, how are you holding up? You know, there's a lot that's been happening. And for those who don't know, Congresswoman Titus wrote a book called Bombs in the Backyard. I have it on my shelf. Nick and I, my husband and I met in Dina Titus's nuclear politics class. So this is something actually I've studied quite a bit. I know quite a bit about thanks to Congresswoman Titus. And I said to her, I said, what was your reaction when you saw that? And she just shook her head. She just shook her head. She was like, I don't know. Right? Because, like, that's the reaction, like, most people have to the shit that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth at this point is just, like, disbelief. You know, and he's, like, in China saying this shit because he wants to act like he has bigger balls than the president of China or Putin or whoever because he thinks he's, like, a wannabe dictator. Emphasis on the dick. And I'm just like, you don't even understand what you just said. And then he wants to like backtrack and be like, well, you know, we're not going to do above ground testing. Well, he didn't even say that because he doesn't know it's called above ground testing. We're not going to set off any bombs. Okay, genius. Then what are we going to do? You're going to do underground testing that releases radiation too, Nimrod. You're going to, oh no, we're going to use AI. Sure you are.
I'm sorry. What? I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No. I didn't read that part of it. What AI? Really? ChatGPT is going to tell you.
He's going to chat GPT the nuke.
I wonder if I ask. Wait.
Don't do it because you're going to end up on more lists than you and I are already on.
Can you be used for nuclear testing?
I'm just like scrolling through this article now because I like gotta find it. I know I saw it. I'm not talking out of my ass. I know I saw it. I gotta find this now. Everyone bear with us because now we're on the hunt.
Yeah, find that because that is I fully believe it because he's that stupid.
I mean, Nick told me today that he keeps a list in his pocket, apparently, of all the wars he thinks he's won since he's been in office. There's like 8 of them. And I was like, what?
You haven't won any of them.
Trump AI nuclear testing.
Hey, guess what ChatGPT said?
Tell me everything.
I asked it, "Can you be used for nuclear weapons testing?" And it said, short answer, no. I can't help with designing, building, testing, simulating, or otherwise enabling nuclear weapons or their deployment.
Bullshit. BBC, let's see what this says, because the BBC is going to tell the truth. Trump's planned tests are not nuclear explosion. I knew I read it. I knew it. Because I was like, this is not something I could just conjure up out of my butt. U.S. is not planning to conduct nuclear explosions. Energy Secretary Chris Wright has said, claiming global concerns after Donald Trump called on the military to resume weapons testing. Because in Donald Trump's feeble fucking mind, that's what he wanted. He wanted mushroom clouds. You and I both know that.
Yeah! Especially because...
Come on, that's like his wet dream to like do what China does, do what Russia does. Like he wants to emulate that nonsense.
He wants the parade. He wants the bullshit.
The
He wants all that.
parade. He wants the Temu of what they do.
So that's what he wants to do. And I bet you he wants to come wearing a military uniform.
This will make you feel better. Hang on, I gotta read this sentence to you. But Wright, whose agency oversees testing, said people living in the Nevada desert should have no worries. You should have no worries, Maria, about seeing a mushroom cloud. Remember when I used to joke and be like, I just wish I long for the days when I didn't like fear getting nuked in the night. Like I joked about that. Like that's a real thing apparently we got to worry about.
Or mushroom clouds are fine. We're going to build ChatGPT is going to build, even though it can't, it will build a cover over the Nevada sky and we will not be harmed.
Hold please. Americans near historic test sites, such as the Nevada National Secretary Site, also known as the test site, have no cause for concern, Wright said. So you're testing all the other parts of a nuclear weapon to make sure they deliver the appropriate geometry. And they set up the explosion.
Look, listen, Wright. I just asked ChatGPT, and I disagree with ChatGPT on a lot of things, but it said, short answer, yes, you should be concerned.
Comments on Truth Social last week were interpreted by many as the sign that the U.S. was preparing to restart full-scale nuclear blasts for the first time since 1992. In an interview with 60 Minutes on CBS, which was recorded on Friday and aired on Sunday, Trump reiterated that position. I'm saying that we're going to test nuclear weapons like other countries do. Friends, I don't know about you, but Russia literally tests nukes by exploding them.
They literally go, and mushroom cloud. Yeah.
The whole thing. It literally looks like that right there.
Yeah. It literally looks like that. Yeah.
Russia's testing. See, I didn't make this up. I knew I didn't. Russia's testing. China's testing, but they don't talk about it, he added. Pressed further on the topic, Trump says, they don't go and tell you about it, but Nevadans don't have anything to worry about. Trust him. They just don't tell you about it. So let's just Donald Trump this for a minute. Let's just Trump this for a minute. Trump it out, shall we?
Sorry, I'm currently longing for George W. Bush to be my president.
Truly. When you want crazy pants George W. Bush,
I would welcome him. I'd be like, thank you so much for saving us.
Donald Trump makes Mitt Romney look quaint.
Yeah, like a man of the people.
I don't want to be the only country that doesn't test, he said, adding North Korea and Pakistan to the list of nations allegedly testing their arsenals. On Monday, China's foreign ministry denied conducting nuclear weapons tests, which we all also know is not true. So the part of me saying they're going to use AI basically to test the little parts and pieces of it, true.
Yeah.
But we have nothing to worry about in the Nevada desert. But clearly, Pumpkin Spice Putin wants the whole shebang. According to U.S. think tank Center for Strategic International Studies, China roughly has doubled its nuclear arsenal in the past 5 years and is expected to exceed 1,000 weapons by 2030. That doesn't mean we should be testing weapons, friends. According to the ACA, not the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, which is the, it doesn't say where it is. Where is it? Anyways, it's another think tank. They say that America's nuclear stockpile sits at around 5,225 warheads. Now, are our warheads aging? Sure. But that does not mean we need to blast them into the atmosphere. Because then you have all kinds of issues with the environment. You have downwinders. It's a whole thing. Look it up, friends. And I get, like I said, the nuclear stockpile is aging because guess what? Collectively, as a globe, we've decided maybe nuking each other isn't the way to go.
Yeah, maybe we want to live.
Well, also like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like war crimes, horrific things
Yeah.
done to people, yada yada. It is rare that I'm at a loss of. It's rare that Congresswoman Titus
Yeah, a
is at a
well-known
loss
nuclear
of
expert
words.
who literally wrote the book on nuclear weapons in our backyard is like, I don't even know anymore.
She's like, I'm gonna do a bill since Congress is in session, right? She's gonna do a bill since the House is working actively, right?
Maybe we should all what was that movie of like watching how to survive?
Well, there's a whole like thing, but especially
Yeah.
like from like the Cold War. If you want a really good movie about the atomic bomb and Ukraine and Russia and the history of the atomic bomb and how it relates to Ukraine and Russia and Ukraine having to get their nukes and all that, Turning Point, not Turning Point USA, Turning Point, the documentary series on Netflix, has an excellent documentary on the atomic bomb and the Cold War. Nick and I watched it over Christmas, some light Christmas watching. Highly recommend it. Very interesting, very intense. Took us a lot of hours to watch, but it was very good.
Ditto. Yeah. Me and my mom watched it too, and yeah, it is very and very scary. Also very scary how like accidentally things might have happened before, because that's how sensitive this stuff is. We've been this close. And now we have a guy who, because you were reading that, he says all these other countries are doing it, so I want to do it too. Like, this is literally the kid that if all their friends jumped off a cliff, they'd be like, I want to jump off the biggest cliff.
It's the kid in Christmas Story who puts his tongue on the pole. I hate everything. If you want a really good read, Bombs in the Backyard by Congresswoman Dina Titus. It's an excellent book. It's actually really, really good. It's not just a good classroom book. It's actually a really good book. Highly recommend you read it. If you want to understand the history of nuclear politics and like the nonsense that just came out of your president's mouth, we'll put this BBC article in the chat. Just to prove I didn't make any of this up.
Nope.
That's a real conversation that's been had. All while we're discussing whether or not poor people can eat. Nukes and snap. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. We spent a whole hour just on,
Nukes.
dying of hunger or
Now,
dying of a nuke.
I love all this. Trump's nuclear testing order risks prompting a global race.
Yeah.
That was the Nevada Current. We'll put that in the chat. Titus and Rosen blast Trump's plan to resume nuclear weapons testing. Yes, because they know what that means.
Yeah. And it's why we got away from testing and doing all of these things, because it would scare other countries to think,
It also
are you coming for me?
escalates problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do
And
one,
don't tell
they do one. It's like a tit for tat race to the bottom, you idiot.
And don't tell me this man is a peace president because he's over here trying to figure out if he's going to invade
yeah.
Venezuela or not.
Keeps a list of 8 wars that he ended in his pocket. Peace. But he's going to start nuclear testing. And I think this is a really good thing. Hang on. This is a really important part because it always goes back to this. Just like in the last episode, which you all should go watch, it always comes back to this. This is not this harebrained idiot got in his thing that the harebrained idiot got in his mind. He probably said things that he doesn't understand because half the time he doesn't know what he's talking about. But in Project 2025, Hugh Jackson wrote this article in the Nevada Current. Excellent article. And it's the one that's titled Titus and Rosen blast Trump's plan to resume nuclear weapons testing. Project 2025 called for the U.S. to restore nuclear testing in Nevada. Now, We all know we've done our part. We don't want that. Don't bring your nuclear waste here. Don't test your nuclear weapons here. That's why Dina calls it bombs in the backyard. We are not your dumping ground. We are not your trash heap. We don't even have nuclear power here. We don't need to be your dumping ground. We've done our part in the nuclear race. So the fact that it's in Project 2025, just like defunding SNAP was, yet again, here we are. It was written down, friends. This is for those of you who voted for Donald Trump and you live in Nevada and you don't want nuclear testing in your backyard, you voted for it, friends.
You get what you paid for, you get what you voted for.
I love
Yay.
this. This is a great quote. Donald Trump Wednesday announced on social media site that the process will begin immediately to resume testing of nuclear weapons. Dina's quote, absolutely not. I'll be introducing legislation to put a stop to this. Because Dina gets it. I told Dina you should put social media out for like excerpts from your book about like why this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Hang on, there's a little nuggie in here that I didn't see earlier. A spokesperson for Republican Governor Joe Lombardo, who endorsed Donald Trump, told The Current last year that the governor does not support Project 2025's advocacy for nuclear weapons testing in the state.
All I know is I'm not supposed to worry about any of this because a mushroom cloud is fine.
Senior staff official from NNSS, the test site, told him they, quote, want nothing to do with full-scale underground testing. There is no need for full-scale underground testing. I don't think this idiot's even talking about underground. I think he's talking about the kaboom.
Yeah, no, I think he wants the kaboom because he wants
Trump
the picture.
wants to sit on a building like they did in.
He wants to point at it like a dumbass
with his STD riddled brain, being like how he stared at the sun that one time.
He's just jealous of all these other dictators because, he has small dictator energy. And he wants to overcompensate with his little toys. And we're all going to pay for it. But don't worry about the mushroom.
I'm going to be irradiated because this dumbass, I mean, I already probably am. I mean, like drinking the water, I've lost organs because of it. But anyways.
Like we already have thyroid issues.
We're gallbladder.
It's interesting. It's people in Vegas. Because I asked ChatGPT, I was like, what are some of the health concerns? And it was like thyroid issues. I was like, well, both of us have thyroid issues.
100%. 100%. I mean, it was I told you this. It was in the contract I signed when we bought the house. I think it's in everybody's. Like, hey, at any time, those dumbasses could keep testing nukes out there.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it.
I don't even know. Honest to God, Maria, sometimes I'm like, did I make that up? And I'm like, there's no way. I'm kooky, but I ain't that kooky.
Well, and with all the fake news, actual fake news.
The thing is, I actually read the articles. I don't just skim the 10-second version on the internet of clickbait.
You don't just read the headline
No.
or the fake headline on a graphic or something.
Before we go, I just feel like we should go to CNN just for the hell of it. See what other stupid shit's going on in the world. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
See what's going on in the world.
I mean, like Jamaica was destroyed last week. We haven't even talked about that. We haven't even scratched the surface of Jamaica and Cuba, who literally were slammed into by a Category 5 hurricane.
Which the saint of food, Jose Andres, is literally on the ground.
Adore him.
Delivering food himself.
I mean, they're like, they were showing like they're currently showing it on CNN, the aftermath. I mean, it's just like leveled in Jamaica, and Jamaica is amazing. The USDA noted that recipients this is currently on CNN. The USDA noted that recipients in some states may not see their SNAP benefits, for weeks or even months. But this is manufactured. People can't eat.
They're just out here throwing parties and getting phones.
I do think this is a good way to wrap, though, because I think it's really a catch. Oh! Before we go, no, we have to talk about this before we go. Did you see the headline? I know you're in Puerto Rico, which sadly still counts as America. I wish Puerto Rico could just like detach from us because I'd move to Puerto Rico tomorrow. I love Puerto Rico. Yeah. Anyways, did you see Donald Trump today said for the Thanksgiving Day holiday, he's just going to shut down air travel? Did you see that? And I literally wrote on the post, I was like, cool, let's go. Which brings me to my next point, which is poll after poll is now showing that Americans are broadly dissatisfied with the state of the country, the economy. What's the thought? A year into this shit show, because this week is a year from the last election when we did this nightmare again, when we re-entered into this nightmare of
Matrix.
ours. Who would have thought? A year into this, we'd be like, shut the government down. We're going to shut the government down, but then we're going to cancel all the flights.
Flights, for people to see their families. Tourism, which helps economies like ours. We're just not going to have any of that.
Oh, I forgot. There's a whole host of things that there's like, what? So Nick and I are sitting on the couch a little while ago, and I saw this headline, and I was like, oh, I got to talk about this too before we go. So you know how Donald Trump's over the weekend's been talking a lot about like Nigeria all of a sudden. I was like,
Yeah.
where the fuck did Nigeria come from? Like, since when are we mad at Nigeria? Right? Like, that's a random thing other than like racism, which is usual for Donald Trump. But like, why are we mad at Nigeria now? Apparently, Donald Trump saw a segment on Fox News, and within an hour, he was laser focused on Christians' treatment in Nigeria. So the president of the United States of America is making policy decisions
Based on Fox News.
and war decisions based on segments on Fox News that most Americans don't let their elderly parents watch.
No, because that's a bigger cult than MAGA, because that's
a hotbed
begat
of
MAGA.
stupid.
Yeah. Wow. Even George W. Bush didn't listen to and determine policy based on Fox News.
When I read that today, I was like, what? Because typically, I don't know about you, like when I'm forming my policy opinions on things, I do a few things. And this is just a word of advice for, Beef Stick or whoever the fuck is commenting on our comments this week. Beef Stick 202 or whatever the fuck their names are. When I form a policy thought, a policy position, typically what I will do is I'll go on CNN, read an article. I'll go on the AP, read an article. I'll even go on Fox News and read an article because I want to get all the different perspectives. And then I'll just start Googling to see, does the CDC have something on this? Does the World Health Organization have something on this? Does international, national, typical experts have thought processes on this? Do universities have papers on this, right? Because I want to see
So
what
people
thought leaders think.
So people that didn't go to TikTok University.
Correct. And then, based on all of that information I've gathered, I try and form an informed opinion for myself based on my values.
That sounds like garbage. You should just watch Fox News.
One segment, apparently, that's all it takes. And you're out there wanting to bomb Nigeria. You gotta sit back and be like, what? Nigeria's gonna be like, what the fuck?
What did we do?
What did we do?
That makes all the sense in the world.
Argentina's fine. The dictators are fine. But we're gonna go bomb Nigeria.
Yeah. Yeah. Nigeria and Venezuela. Watch out.
Okay.
Cool.
How's Puerto Rico?
It's lovely. I'm eating one of its oranges.
God, everything's...
Yeah. It is lovely. The people are lovelier. And yeah,
what's the drink that I like? What is it? Remember the eggnog that I told you I loved there? It's because it's not the real eggnog.
Yeah. Hang on. I want to get the name right.
Is it coquito?
Yes, coquito. Yes. Coquito. Just delicious. I had that last time we were here, because last time we were here, my mom and I was
Over the
for work,
holidays.
but over the holidays, and it was all over the place.
You
Delicious.
might be able to get it now. It's early in the season, but it's delicious.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any mofongo yet?
No, but we're gonna learn to cook it. Our organization is. We're doing
You might be able
doing
to make
bonding.
it. We'll actually eat it. You know how I feel
gonna
about
be
squishy foods. I tried it.
We'll see.
Wasn't for me.
It's got a texture, but I'll learn how to make it. Yeah.
And then we're gonna not my cup of tea to begin with.
Yeah, that's kind of first step, because that's what it's made of. But yeah,
I love Puerto Rico.
it's
Are
amazing.
you guys doing any excursions while you're there?
We're gonna do a scavenger hunt in Old San Juan.
Yes.
Yeah. But my mom's not with me, so it's just me and the staff.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Get drunk.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I was gonna tell you should go out on the bioluminescent bay. If you guys can go down to El Yunque, the national park that's there.
What a garbage island. Wow.
Listen, that was where our honeymoon was. We spent a week there, then we got on a boat and went around and came back to Puerto Rico. It was a great trip. I love Puerto Rico.
Great place.
Anyways, All right. What's your headache this week?
My headache?
Plethora to pick from. Or as some say,
Uh,
a plethora.
a plethora. Food policy experts and the food police. Tell me what to eat. Don't tell other people what to eat.
Period.
Literally.
I don't care if it's your
If
uterus, your mouth, what you fucking put in your vaccines. No.
if you wanted to go out and not wear a mask during COVID, you don't get to go out and tell people what they should put in their mouths to sustain themselves. Nope.
I was thinking about that today a lot because we might be going to Vietnam, like I told you. And I was looking up vaccines that you should have. And I'm like, thank God I got these vaccines in January, not knowing that I might be going here because, like, half of this shit is stuff that RFK doesn't want to have anymore. You want to know what pisses me off this week? You want to know my headache?
Oh, what is it?
Well, I got a big one this week, and you're gonna understand.
Boy.
I put on another event over the weekend with one of my clients. It was fabulous,
Uh-oh.
really good. But there were some people outside of the organization, not affiliated with the organization, who were supposed to help us. It was a group project. You know how I feel about group projects most times. And they didn't pull their weight. And I had
What?
to, me and the other parts of the team had to pick up the pieces while we're doing other stuff, while I'm getting ready for special, while the team is doing voter reg, all the stuff that they do. And it's just so fucking annoying. I have hated group projects since I was in elementary school, and I hate them now, especially with incompetent people.
Yeah.
Like, do your fucking job. It's why I should just do things myself, honestly. Because if I'm not working with, like, the handful of normal people that I would normally do things with, you, a few others, like, what's the point? I hate incompetent people.
Yeah.
And the thing I hate most is incompetent people who say they're going to do something
And then
like,
they don't do it.
over, say they're really dial up what they're capable of and then totally shit the bed and pretend like they were doing excellent. And I'm like
snake oil salesman. Yeah.
Nothing irritates me more.
No. Just shut up and do your job.
Ugh. And usually it's men. Just gonna say it.
Yep.
I mean, there are women who do it too, but disproportionately, my experience has been the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's been another fun
Alrighty.
week. Can't wait for nobody to watch this. Pick up one. This week, when you put up clips, can you put up clips that will enrage people and encourage that? Just put up a clip of me and you saying, watch the damn show so you can be enraged about the full context of the shit we're saying.
And I think most of the time we put, for the whole discussion, link a bio.
That would
or
require
follow
them
this link.
reading.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Steve Sebelius is the only person who watches this. The most informed among us.
Yeah. Because he reads.
And
So you don't
listens
need
to
to
what
talk
we have
about
to say and laughs. Because we're actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, listen, it's like winning an Oscar hearing that Steve Sebelius thinks you're funny.
Maybe I'll have him in April on when we go up to special. Like old times.
Yes.
All right, Maria, take us out.
The mushroom cloud will take us out. But yeah. So remember, everyone, don't police what people put in their mouths, do with their bodies. And don't worry about that mushroom cloud if you live
Donald
in
Trump
Nevada.
says we're going to be fine. Don't worry about them downwinders. If you don't know what a downwinder is, Google it.
Yeah. But we're just going to say Google it so that you have to actually do your research.
Well, it's been another enthralling episode, everyone. Can't wait for you to watch half of it or one 30-second clip. For all of you who do watch, thank you for watching. And we'll see you next week, right before special, hopefully, God willing. And then we'll see you from special session. So get ready. It's about to be an exciting couple of weeks before the holiday break. So we'll see you soon, everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, send this to your friends so they're educated too. Have a great week, everyone.